What's up guys, it's Ariana. So I'm making another video today. This one is a little bit more personal and a little bit more deeper than some of the stupid funny stories about like what I say not to do. At first I was a little bit nervous. I still am. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or, make anyone think anything about why I'm making this. Feels good to not have to keep things bottled up. But it's my story to tell, and I think it'll help some people that have maybe gone through this, people that are thinking about doing this, or just make people not feel so alone. I think it's also good to know about people's past. It helps you kind of understand why they act the way they act or why they do certain things. It doesn't excuse it, but it helps you to kind of understand where people come from. So this story time is about when I ran away when I was 14. I felt like I wasn't safe at my house. I was being abused. And I don't mean like a lot of people will be like, yeah, I got my ass beat when I was a kid and I deserved it. Like, this is a lot different. I understand there's differences between discipline and abuse, and this was definitely abuse. So my mom met this guy when I was like 3 or 4. She ended up marrying him, and he became my stepdad. He brought my brother along with him, and they ended up having my little sister. I was a good student. I obeyed. I got great grades, but I did talk back. I asked why a lot. I had to refer to him as dad and pretend that I didn't know that he wasn't my real dad. When he found out I was calling him my stepdad to everyone else outside of our family, I got my ass beat for that. So, I can remember from the age of 4, little Ariana standing in a huge ass extra large t-shirt to her ankles, getting whipped for something really stupid, like eating whipped cream when we weren't supposed to. We got in trouble for the littlest things, and I mean like bullshit stuff. Like, he would find reasons to get us in trouble. There was a time, several times, he would come home and try to press redial on the phone to see if we had been calling people when we weren't allowed to be on the phone. He would come home and press previous channel on the remote to try to see if we had been watching MTV because we weren't allowed to watch that. There were times that he would bring us to our friend's house and like interrogate us, ask our friends questions to try to catch us in lies. And like looking back, it's like, what did these other parents think? Like, what the hell? And when I say he would always find ways to get us in trouble, I mean us, like me and my brother. For some reason, the child that they had together was never disciplined in this way. I felt like he really liked to see us miserable. Like when he would rip up photos of our friends. I remember when he went through this box of letters that I had and ripped them up, took pictures out of frames and ripped them up. I felt like he was really upset about us having strong relationships with people that weren't our family, like having friends outside the house. It really pissed him off. I think he was just a really miserable person and was upset that, him beating us and punishing us and putting us in like solitary confinement, sitting in our room for an entire weekend without being able to do anything, not even being able to read or listen to music. No TV, no computer, no phone, none of that. But and I felt like he was upset that he couldn't break us for some reason. He would get so close to our faces and be like screaming at us. We'd like try to wipe it away, and he'd grab our arms really quick and push him down. He would slam his fist really hard on the countertops to try to make us jump. And he would slam the cupboards really hard so that, we would be scared. Like, he really liked that kind of shit. Like, not only that, he would make us do weird ass military shit. We would always have to call him, yes, sir. I constantly would test it and try to say, yeah. And he would say, you say yes. And I would say, yes. And he would say, yes, what? And, it was really hard for me. I just had no respect for, someone like that. I feel like he treated us like we were slaves. He would call us into his room from our room and have us hand him the remote. Or he would call us in from our bedrooms or even outside from playing to like close his sliding back door in the bedroom. Just really weird, like, controlling things that, you know, as a child, you just do. But looking back, you know, it's twisted. You know, like, and I can understand spankings. Like, there's a complete difference between spanking a child and beating a child. And it wasn't just when we were children. This went up until, you know, we were 17 years old, or until we moved or got kicked out of the house. So please hold your comments as far as, like, saying, you know, you can discipline your child in the way you want. Like, everyone knows the difference between discipline and abuse. And I also think it has to do with the crime doesn't fit the punishment, you know? That shit has to kind of align too. I literally would, like, tally the marks on my calendar of how many times I got hit or yelled at every single day. This was like a daily thing. No matter what we did, there was always something. It was always me or my brother getting lectured or screamed at or beat up. You know, if I could look up records growing up, I have to say the cops have been called to our house at least 10 times. Like, I had to be the neighbors always calling because it wasn't me. I mean, the one time I did call, some officer came over and was lecturing me like, look at this place. You have a great house. You have a TV in your room. You have this, and your parents have 2 cars, and all they legally have to do is put a roof over your head and give you food. So it doesn't matter how they want to discipline you. I know that shit wouldn't fly now, but this is, you know, back in the 90s, early 2000s. So after a while, you know, we started getting older and we'd be running from it. I could hear my older brother fighting back. There's a time I limped for days because the arch of my foot was bruised from, like, running away and, you know, laying like this in a corner with my feet up, trying to, like, shield myself. And literally, like, on the arch of my foot, getting whipped so many times, I couldn't walk. And, you know, that kind of shit is when you're crossing a line. There's another time, I remember telling my friends, took them into the girls' bathroom and pulled my pants down and showed them a bruise, probably like as big as a saucer plate, purple and blue. And, you know, it was just like, I'm tired of this shit. I was always so ashamed to tell anyone what was going on. And I was like, finally, you know, like, I want to tell people. Now, there's a lot more to this story. There's, you know, even more twisted, perverted ass shit. But right now I'm leading up to the point in 9th grade at 14 when I decided to run away. So I told this girl that I had been confiding in about everything that I was going to do it, run away. And I'd call her with my Virgin Mobile prepaid cell phone when I left that night. So I packed up my backpack and my 7th grade cheerleading duffel bag that had my name embossed on it, like I still remember. I took my screen out and lifted the bags through the window and set them quietly outside. So no one usually went that way, and I only had to wait a few more hours till they went to sleep anyways, so I thought everything was fine. But it wasn't, and for some reason that day, my mom and my stepdad walked out around the house to take the trash out. Now, like, usually they didn't do shit. It was me or my brother doing it, and my brother was probably the one who would have had to take the trash out. So I don't know if it was like a neighbor tipping them off or what, but they both went to take the trash out. Okay, go around to the side of the house. My window happens to be on the side of the house, and I hear them open the gate, go through, put the trash in. They had to have seen my bags. I'm freaking out. Turn around real quick, try to lock my door, and boom! He, like, kicks it open or pushes it open. Like, my heart's beating super fast and I'm, like, freaking out. He says something like, "What's this?" And I'm like, "I'm leaving." And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I'm leaving." And he says, "Okay then," and lifts my bags through the window. He makes me put them on while screaming in my face, like, "How dare I do this? Like, I don't know how good I have it." He ends up kind of pushing me through the house the whole time until we actually get to the sliding glass door. And he's like, "If you want to leave, then come on, leave now. Fucking go." Like, this wasn't the plan. This is 14-year-old Ariana, like, super timid ass Ariana, like, hadn't even, like, smoked weed, like, very unsure of herself. So I get pushed out unexpectedly around 5 or 6 p.m. Walk down to elementary school, which is, like, on the same street. Isn't really far at all. I go to the play area and call my friend Alexa. She has her brother come and pick me up in their family van, but I can't stay at their house. And the guy that I was dating, and I put it in like quotation marks because like he was a senior, I was a freshman, like he might not even count this as like a girlfriend. This was like my first real boyfriend. I know he took it like a fraction of the amount serious that I took it. So he had known about my plan about wanting to leave. I couldn't even stay at his house. And it's kind of crazy because everyone's like, yeah, you can come to my place. Yeah, everything's going to be cool when you leave. And when you actually do leave, no one is there to rescue you and have you over and let you stay because you're 14 years old and like probably their parents can't even legally let you stay there. But don't take their word for it because it's probably not right. So this boyfriend of mine is trying to figure things out for me, trying to call people and figure out if I can stay there. So this girl that he knew from school, I didn't even know, came to the rescue, and her dad worked nights, so she let me stay there. If you're watching this, you probably know, probably not watching this, but if you ever do, thank you so much. Initials MA. I'm not going to put your name, but thank you for helping me to not have to sleep at an elementary school park that night. Again, this is 14-year-old Ariana. I was dead ass sober in her house all night. I think I was awake all night. It was hella weird for me. I had had like maybe one conversation with her ever. So next morning, I had to find out where the fuck to go. Her dad was coming home from work. I still couldn't be at my boyfriend's house, even though I feel like he had told me like I could stay with him. So he had talked to his uncle and let me stay there. So I ended up staying again with someone that I did not know who they were whatsoever for another night. It was really weird for me. I was a really sheltered kid, and this was just totally different environment that I'd ever been in. The uncle was not a weirdo. I don't remember him looking me up and down or doing anything like that. It wasn't weird like that. It was just a whole different environment, different type of people, and it was just weird for me. And so I just knew there wasn't a future for 14-year-old me without a job, not being able to get emancipated. I had already tried that for years with my parents. They would not sign anything over. So I just knew that this wasn't going to work. When my mom came to pick me up there, my stepdad ended up taking my boyfriend's uncle by the neck and almost lifting him off the ground. I didn't hear what he said, but he was acting like, you know, this guy did something wrong, except, you know, he had let me stay somewhere when this motherfucker didn't give a shit where I was for the last, you know, 2.5 days. And I didn't run away to party. I didn't run away to have sex. I ran away because I felt like I was unsafe in my home. I thought being anywhere but there without even a plan was a good idea. It was really dangerous, and at that point, I may have taken a ride from strangers and possibly gotten hurt, raped, killed, whatever. You know, it's terrible, and I'm sure there's lots of others that have felt like that, you know, gone through some similar stuff, or maybe feel like that right now. You know, it really sucks. But I promise you, life as an adult is fucking amazing. I always hear people be like, don't you wish you could go back and be a kid? And I'm like, fuck no. I love being an adult. I love being able to make my own decisions. I love not having to be told what to do about everything. Yeah. So like, I know that I was a lot younger and I knew nothing compared to what I know now. I thought I was a lot smarter then than I am now because I know that life is, you know, the whole journey of life is about learning. So when I was 14, I definitely didn't know anything. But I did make it. You know, I did end up doing a lot of stuff that they told me I couldn't do. You know, if you can stick it out, adulthood does get better. Don't do anything stupid. And really, you know, probably running away isn't the best choice unless you really have somewhere that you can go. But adulthood is so awesome. Stick it out. I promise you, life gets so much better. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? This is bullshit, man.